Did you know that without bees, the human population and the animal population as well would probably go extinct? If the plants died, the animals that eat the plants would also die, and the humans that eat the animals would probably die as well. Bees are the most important food crop pollinators in the world. 1/3 of food we eat is pollinated by bees, and 80% of the crop in the U.S. is completely dependent on them. Honeybee population is declining, and it's our job to fix this problem. In this speech, I hope to persuade you guys on why we need to make it a necessity to save our bees. Bees are the most important living thing on this earth, so shouldn't we be able to strive to keep the bees living? Less than half of the population of bees has died from 75 years ago. Last winter, we lost 22.3% of our bees, and the number is still declining. A lot of beekeepers has tried natural nectar because the pollination of the regular flowers has gone down, but this didn't work as well as the natural way would. In 2014, President Obama established a pollinator risk task force to the USDA and gave farmers $18 million in incentives to help supply the bees on their supplies. Reasons why bees are declining. One of the main reasons that the bees are declining is because of pesticides. The pesticides has increased tremendously since World War II. These pesticides contain neonicotinoids. This pesticide is similar to nicotine, and it is poisoning the bees. A study at Harvard School of Public Health found that neonicotinoids cause colony collapse disorder. This makes the bees abandon their hives, they go insane, and they don't know how to make it back to their hives. Beekeeping and farming is a great way to offer food, shelter, and a safe environment for the bees. In Europe, unattended bees can only survive about 2 or 3 years due to Marianites. If beekeepers do not help these bees, and these bees do not live in a colony that beekeepers watch over them, they will not make it very long. Beekeepers make their everyday activities based on killing these mites and making sure that their product is secured. Another problem is climate change. Humans are destroying habitats, probably for building houses and building businesses.
Amen.
Tearing down any plants will kill bees. Tearing down any plants that bees can pollinate will potentially take away the bees' food. The U.S. is trying to get numbers back up for the bee colonies and places for them to eat. Using the USDA program, you can get the federal help. Department of Agriculture says that there's approximately 212,000 beekeepers in the U.S. Only 200,000 are hobbyists, and about 10,000 are only part-time beekeepers. There's only 3,000 to 5,000 beekeepers that actually participate in the USDA honey program. This includes 3 million bee colonies in the U.S., which it sounds like a lot, but there needs to be more to keep up the honey supply. This includes, keepers that have the biggest operations tend to receive the biggest federal fund to get help from the government. There are critics in the honeybee program. One of them is called the General Accounting Office. They think that there is no need for federal help anymore, and they don't think it is necessary anymore. They think that producers should pay beekeepers to place bee colonies near their crops or operate their own beekeeping enterprises. New York and Michigan have not been producing as much honey in their colonies because the fruit that they have there are not pollinated. This means that there needs to be more beekeepers and places to stay for the bee colonies. Supporting your surrounding pollination sites could help tremendously, and more that you can think of. Many state parks and local gardens do their part on keeping the bees busy. For example, Box Howard Gardens. Box Howard Garden here in Lake Wales, Florida, has more than 100 different types of species of plants and flowers for the bees, and they even have their own pollination garden for the bees. Donating and sharing this information with others will help out tremendously and get the word out to keep these gardens up and running. Even planting your own few flowers will help out more than you would think. Growing your own garden will help the livelihood of bees. The more flowers there are, the better chance bees have of receiving the nutrition they need to survive, said John Haltingwagger. It is a very low maintenance job to do. The bees do most of the job for it, and the bees pollinate, and all you have to do is water the plants so they can do so. In conclusion, I hope that I taught you more about why bees are so important to the world, and why we should try harder to make sure that the population stops declining and starts decreasing or increasing. The article from the Eli Daily says, thanks to humans, the ozone layer has started to begin healing again, but there is still a lot more that we need to do. We can start by planting a flower and saving the bees. As one of my favorite editors and authors, Edward W. Bach, quoted, "Make the world a bit better and more beautiful because you have lived in it." My works cited page is departmentofagriculture.gov/info.libraryandunit.edu. GmbH brain tags on the farm bee care, www.beecare.bayer.com. Haltwagger John, if all the bees in the world die, humans will not survive. EliteDaily.com. Home, BoxTowerGardens.com. And thank you, that's it.